Hey, what's up, you guys? Hey, yesterday I had made a post on Twitter. It was a video of a gorilla that stepped into a road prior to his tribe or his group stepping into the road, and he watched and he stood as a sentinel until every one of those members of the tribe passed the road safely, securely, and walked back into the forest. And when that was done, then he walked into the forest. And it was a great display of what males do. Now, I know that we're not gorillas. I understand that. A lot of people seem to think that that's what I thought, but people are ridiculous. The reason I posted that is because we need to understand that gender and sex and masculinity and femininity are not social constructs. Now, I will say they're supported societally. When we as men step up as the protectors, the providers, and the presiders, cultures up until relatively recently, and we'll talk about that in a minute, have generally supported that idea. Why? Because it works. Men are biologically hardwired and designed to protect, provide, and preside. And we keep our tribe safe, secure. We provide meaningful substance and living and a way of life. And so societies, both men and women, have generally accepted that. Now, the only reason that that's even a challenge currently in the modern times in which we live is because of how soft and weak we are. Now, modernity is nice in that we have a lot of luxuries and comforts that we haven't previously enjoyed, but the risk is that we become complacent and soft and weak and mediocre, so much so that we allow the vocal minority to undermine what it means to be a man, to tell us that masculinity and femininity are somehow social constructs and they're just made up some weird place in some magical fairyland where everybody and everything is the same. Well, we know that's not true. And if we don't embrace the idea that they're not social constructs, they're biologically hardwired for good reason, they work, right? We as men are built a certain way. Women are built a certain way to produce effective outcomes for ourselves and our communities and, of course, the people we care about. If we can't embrace that, then we open ourselves up to all sorts of vulnerabilities and risks and threats, and we'll put ourselves in a very bad situation, and we'll expose ourselves to those who would capitalize on that, take advantage of that. So somebody earlier today on that same post had asked me, why do you think it's important that we reclaim and restore masculinity? Now, I know this was a disingenuous question. This individual wasn't really interested in my answer. They just wanted to argue, but it's still a good question nonetheless. And the reason is because we need to be strong. Societies operate best. They function best when there's physically strong, mentally sharp, morally virtuous men leading at the helm. Everybody's better off. Men, women, society as a whole. So I'll end by saying this. Gender, sex is not a societal construct. Now, people will say, well, gender's this and sex is this. Look, I think gender is the way that these individuals choose to define it as some made-up term to feel comfortable about their varying degrees of masculinity and femininity. But you know what? Just because you happen to be a masculine woman, for example, doesn't mean you're a man. And just because you happen to be potentially a feminine man doesn't make you a woman. It just means that you're more feminine or more masculine based on your biological makeup. So it's not a societal construct. It's a biological one. It's hardwired into who we are. And I found that the more that men step into who they are and embrace the masculinity that's coursing through their veins, and women embrace the femininity that's coursing through their veins, and we act and we show up accordingly, the better off we're gonna be, the more effective we're gonna be, and the more fulfilled we're gonna be in life because we're stepping into who we have the potential to become. So yeah, I don't buy into this social construct thing. It's all biologically constructed and it's supported societally because it works.